Hi folks, welcome to another installment of the Barley Boys. Today we're here at Callister Brewing Company.
Yeah, we're down here at Callister, and we're really lucky because we're going to get an exclusive. Callister's not even open yet, and they've invited us down to come in and talk to them and have a look at their new brewery, which is going to open pretty shortly here. But man, we got the exclusive, we got the scoop here, and we're going to take you inside. You get your first look at their tasting room with us, the Barley Boys. Check it out.
They're down here on Franklin Street and right in sort of the heart of where the rest of the breweries are. So we're looking forward to seeing what this place looks like and hearing what they've got in store for us. So I'm here today with Chris Lay and Diana McKenzie, the owners, and Chris is the brewmaster at Callister Brewing Company, correct?
Yes.
Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for coming.
So I guess the first question is, starting a brewery, it's your first venture into a brewery. What were you guys doing before?
So I'm still a program manager at UBC Continuing Studies.
Okay.
And I've been in web design and multimedia and video production for the last 20 odd years or so, as well as teaching and that sort of thing.
And you mentioned that you've been entrepreneurial for the past 20 years. What other kinds of ventures have you been involved with?
Oh, just entirely my own software and web development companies along the way. Yeah.
Is this a brand new experience for you in terms of owning something and being in business?
Yes. Yeah. It's very exciting, actually.
Exciting
yeah.
as opposed
yeah.
to scary, or
A little bit of everything, but definitely rewarding.
So that's another question I was going to ask in terms of distribution. So your beer will not be available other places, or you won't be selling it in liquor stores and that kind of thing?
Won't be going into liquor stores at all. We won't be bottling or canning. There will be some limited distribution via kegs and casks to restaurants and pubs, but a very small amount of that. We want to focus on distributing it all out through our taps here and growlers and glass. Yeah.
In terms of startup, when did the idea come, or has it been something that's kind of been a long time coming? But when did you actually say, okay, we're going to do this?
It's been percolating probably for about 3 years now, but I think we finally made the decision summer of 2013. Okay. So it's been edging up to reality for the last 2 years-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're focusing very much on being in East Van, and particularly wanted to be in this area, which is zoned for breweries, to help that process along a little bit.
It's nice to be in with a bunch of other breweries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because then people can kind of it becomes a community.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually, that was definitely one of our goals, was to be very much a part of that community and take advantage of that community. Because we are not distributing, we kind of made that decision very early on. We wanted very much for this to be somewhere that people came to have our beer and be very much a part of the other brewers that are in this neighborhood, who have also been super helpful and very welcoming.
It really does seem like sort of a collaborative community with everybody kind of helping each other, which is really, really cool. Mm-hmm. One of the other things that was on that blog, or the province blog, was the background of the name, which we've been wondering about. So Callister, where does that come from?
Well, located on Renfrew Street, across from where the Pacific Coliseum is now, is a little green space called Callister Park. And that used to house one of the original stadiums in Vancouver called Callister Park Stadium. And it started off actually as Con Jones Park in the teens, so it's been around for a very long time. And in the 1940s it was changed over to Callister Park. But from 1949 until 1970, when it closed, my grandfather, Ed Lay, was its caretaker. And so they actually lived in a suite inside the stadium. My father grew up there from the age of 5 in the stadium, yeah.
You were talking about other brewers in here.
Yeah.
If you could just explain that kind of situation, or what's happening with that.
So we're working on a collaborative brew space. So they're working with us to sell their product under our license. So everything is Callister beer, but they put their own brand on it, and they work with us to to develop their own products and sell through our tasting room. So a bunch of different stuff.
It certainly sounds like you're going to have a variety of like both styles, but hopefully a large number of things on tap at any given time as well. What do you anticipate?
Well, yeah, that's, again, we're bucking the trend, whether it's a good idea or not, but we really don't look to have really a flagship set of beers. We're going to be changing it up quite regularly, being very seasonal, of course. Being summertime, we're going to have lots of lighter, low alcohol beers, but that's not to say we won't throw a stout in there as well, just for fun. There's a lot of beers out there, and we want to sort of tackle a lot of them. And time and popularity will sort of dictate what ones may come back more often than others, but we really want to be constantly creating variety and change, and doing that the best we can. And I think with the team of brewers we have, we're going to be able to accomplish that quite well. We're also, I'm just going to continue that thought, we're also, because we're a very small brewery, we're also very flexible. So we can turn something around very quickly, and we're not beholden to a giant tank of beer that we need to now sell. Or force on people, and with the same token, if we like something, well, we can just keep making it and bring it around again.
No, I think it's a great idea. Not sure if I'd call it bucking the trend. It's just it's offering something different than other people are offering. It just means that if I come in 1 week and try something, I might not. If I come back a week later, it might not be here anymore.
Yeah.
You're right.
But then there's
Pressurized with carbon dioxide. That's what makes the beers busy, and also is what pushes the beer out. This doesn't work on that pump. This is actually a standard pump, so it's just like a British pump. Yeah, exactly the same. So you'd have, say, as a bilge pump in a boat or whatever. The exact same principle.
Hopefully it tastes better.
A little bit better tasting. So what this then does is it cranks it forward and it pulls the beer through the line, which is then stored on a stillage or rack in the fridge directly behind it. So it's a very short line, so it's very easy to get the beer out. What we're going to do is do that one, but here we have the bitter, the mild, and then this one is a rotating Garry style, so we're going to work through the time. But each one of them, depending on the style, some styles don't benefit from this, but on the whole, the northern beer style through the engine is pulled through these things called sparkles, which are just tiny shower heads that have hundreds of tiny holes in them. And what those do is as the beer gets pushed through, it pushes the carbon dioxide out. And that creates that creamy head that you get similar from Guinness. Now, Guinness and the nitro style stuff was designed to replicate this process in a nice, simple, easy way. This one takes a little bit more work, but ultimately I think it's worth it. So here's how we pull a proper pint. The glass goes all the way to the top of the swan neck, so you can see the sparkle is right down at the bottom. The first little bit you come through gently, and then as the beer is above the sparkle level, you can give it a bit more. And that gives you that beautiful cascade, just like in a Guinness. No gas in there at all, it's completely natural, it's open to the elements in there. And as long as you get through the beer nice and quickly in 3 or 4 days, never a problem with it spoiling, never a problem with it going bad, never a problem with anything else. The problem is when people put the casks up on the bar, they go up very quickly and lose their carbonation. But that one, as you can see, it's all there, and then it keeps that beautiful head as well.
And how much carbonation is left in there?
Not a huge amount. What happens is a lot of it does get pushed out, so as those bubbles leave, that is the last of the carbon, well, not the last, it's a good chunk of the carbon dioxide leaving. It can also take out a lot of hop profiles, so if you have a very hoppy beer, this makes a lot of those hops vanish. However, in the same way, it also releases them into the foam and into your mouth, so you get those flavors as well. So it's a different way of doing it, but again, it's this little process where it's a little bit warmer, a little bit flatter, that gives the British beer that reputation for having warm, flat beer. But at the same time, this is why it's done, so you do get to try that one. But,
oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
I'm the first. Barley Garry getting the first taste of Callister beer.
As long as you don't count. Because it was here, but sure.
Barley Boys exclusive.
it's clean up. It's good.
Oh yeah.
But you see that one, it's very smooth, a little bit of chocolatey,
Yes.
not too much of anything, so it's a very repeatable beer. It's a beer that's designed to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, serving it right, real supply.
That is so nice.
And no one's really been getting into this style particularly. It's, people have been pushing for different styles, ESBs and things like that, or big porters and big stouts. And it just shows. I mean, this beer is only 4%. This one's only 3%.
I mean, love the taste, the chocolatey, but this is very nice. Which one is this?
This one's our Blackburn Best Bitter. So it's a solid 4%. Really easy drinking, lovely in the summer.
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit of lemonade in there can really bring it out as well.
I don't know if it's because it's such a hot day, but this is really this. God, you got to try that.
So these would be classified as session beers, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Technically, well, it's kind of a very loose definition of session beer. People tend to think that anything below 5% is a session beer. But then if you have something that's incredibly hopped out or very bitter, you don't want to have another one of them necessarily. So in my mind, that doesn't make it a session beer. A session beer is something you should be able to session all day if needs be. And that's very much what we've gone for with these ones.
It's interesting because you would think flat beer. What's the deal with that? But this is so
flavorful. It's a bit of a disservice. It's in the same way people talk about sour beers, and it's like sour beers. That doesn't sound good. It's actually fantastic. They taste marvelous. So this was the Pardigal baby beer. This one's only 2%. So this one is very, very light, and again, perfect for a simple day and all the rest of it.
So I could drink these all afternoon. My wife wouldn't kick me in the ass.
Seems to work.
Bud Light or Pardigal? Which would you have?
Oh, that's nice.
So that one's very similar to the
It's
bitter.
like a wheat. I get a wheat beer.
There's a little bit more of the starch in there. There's a little bit of huskiness in there because it was part of the last runnings from the bitter. So it's technically a very similar recipe to the bitter, but I changed the hops on that one as well. That's just a bit of fun that we were having just to try some new things out with what we had. So, but
yeah, that's really neat. I like that. So Garry, we just had an opportunity to meet with Diana McKenzie and Chris Lay here at Callister Brewery. Any thoughts on our experience here?
It's an awesome little brewery they got going. Sure enjoy their British style ales that they have right now and look forward to what else they come out with down the road. And I'd just like to thank them for having us over and giving us a sneak preview of what is to come. And I think they're going to really nail it. I think they're going to really have something special here. And I encourage all you out there in YouTube land to come on down and try out the beers down here.
Yeah, I think the interesting part is that they're going to have a variety of beers, not just different styles, but a whole bunch of them as well, maybe up to 11 on tap at any given time, that they're going to be a lounge so that they can serve pints, which is different than a lot of the other craft breweries. So some different stuff here. They're just taking a different route than some of the other places are, but I think, like you say, they kind of nailed it.
Yeah, I think so, and I'd like to thank them for having us down and giving us a sneak peek. And I just want to say to all you out there, keep in touch with the Barley Boys on Twitter and at YouTube.
And one last thing, I asked folks in Twitter and on Facebook if they had any questions, and we didn't get any, but hopefully next time we got one question, and that was, when are we going to become more rowdy? So I'm not sure when that happens, but it's probably not going to happen in our lifetime, right?
You want to be rowdy? You want to get rowdy? Stay tuned.
This is a rugby boy too.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you guys later.